the thinking in asset management has evolved. If you rewind the clock 10 years, a lot of us were very preoccupied with risk. That was really the primary driver for a lot of decision making in asset management was we need to control risk. And if you kind of come back to today, the major driver is value. I think we all agree now that we buy our assets and we operate our assets because they generate value. And consequently, a lot of the thinking now is more around, okay, well, how do we define value? How do we create frameworks to actually capture what we consider to be value? And how do we ensure that asset management is really, as a discipline, really kind of helps the organization maximize value to all stakeholders? And that is something which has kind of driven a lot of our thinking over the last few years and is now being incorporated into 55,000 and of course into 55,001. We've been trying to come up with a complementary standard, which will be 55011, which really kind of describes the enabling environments that you might want to put in place in government environment to actually kind of run asset management. So that's one. Two other ideas which have been working on for the last 2 years are important, increasingly important ideas. One is the fact that obviously asset management is reliant on people. Yes, we love our assets, but people at the end of the day make it happen. And consequently, what we're trying to do is to come up with guidance on how to make sure that your people are kind of engaged, competent, and that basically you've built an environment, again, an enabling environment for your people to do good asset management. And the last one that we're working on is one around data. And here again, if you see the evolution of the last 10 years has been phenomenal, of course. And consequently, the fact that more and more decision making is based on data. So in other words, we're really data driven as an asset management discipline. On the one hand, on the other hand, you could flip it around and say, well, data are actually assets in their own right. So you need to manage data to manage your assets, and also you need to manage data because they're assets. So both those aspects have been explored, and we're going to come up with a standard which will be 55013, which will actually dig deeper into those data aspects. So there is additional work in addition to revising the existing standards. There's additional work underway. Equally, we're also doing a relatively quick review of 55010, which talks about the alignment between asset management and finance. Now, that one has been available for a couple of years, but again, that's an area which has evolved quite quickly, and we've learned a lot in the last few years. So we're working on that. That one will also be ready. It's pretty much ready by now for the end of this week. As in, I fully expect that all 6 of the standards will get to the point where we'll move them forward, which also means that we can expect them on the shelves within, say, 12 months.